All right, Gino, thank you very much. In these times when money is very tight and everybody's trying to get their budgets together and you're being pulled and pushed from every direction because somebody needs extra money from you, it's always nice to maybe find a way to get the kids back into school and to do it at a reasonable cost. We're talking about sports equipment and music instruments, and our next two guests say that you can certainly do that with some gently used items. Here to tell us more about it is Phil Chernin. He is the owner of the Music Go Round in Natick, and Adam Shapiro is also with us. He is the owner of Play It Again Sports in Framingham, and we're going to get to Adam in just a moment. So we said we're not ignoring you, but we'll be with you in a minute. We want to start over here with Phil and talk a little bit about the instruments. That can be very expensive, especially when your first grader says, I want to play the violin, and 30 minutes later says, no, I don't. So it's sort of a nice way to get into instruments and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, at Music Around we sell used instruments. Our business is buying instruments from customers who are done using them. Right. And we buy them, we refurbish them, we make them playable, we set them up so that they can use these instruments and buy them very inexpensively relative to new.
Sure. Well, let's talk about some of them that you brought with you, and maybe you can give us some comparison ideas.
Sure. We have two groups of instruments here, instruments that many school systems require. These instruments, like saxophones, trumpets, bell kits, the beginning drum kits, they're very expensive to buy new. For example, a trumpet like this, a Yamaha trumpet, brand new, even a student grade trumpet costs in the area of $900 to $1,100.
Wow, I had no idea.
Even to rent an instrument like this generally costs about $30 a month. At Music Around, this instrument here costs $229. We have high quality instruments that sell from between $189 in a trumpet, for example, up to about $259.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Similar with saxophones or flutes or any instrument that's required from a school system.
Okay,
the second group of instruments we have here are for back-to-school kids who are not doing doing music in school, but they're starting their own bands, or they're improving what they're already doing in their bands. For example, these kinds of instruments are banjos, djembes, which are very popular right now. A djembe like this to buy new costs $129. At Music Around, it's $49. We have guitars, the very well-known Stratocaster guitar. A Strat to buy for a young child costs $250. At Music Around, this getup right here is $129.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Or lastly, the famed Les Paul, which I know Fox News did a story on Les Paul, who died recently.
Absolutely.
A Les Paul here, for someone who's a serious musician, is going to cost about $1,500 new. At Music Around, this instrument you're looking at here on the far right costs $899.
Now, Phil, I'm assuming that not only can you buy these fantastic instruments there, but you can bring your instrument if you're interested in selling. Is that true?
Absolutely. The great thing about Music Around is we are the source for getting of your instrument. If you're moving up to a new instrument, if you started in violin, you don't want it anymore, at Music Around you may have bought one for $149. 6 months later you come and you sell it back to us for $75. We pay 50% back to you of what you've originally paid to us.
Tell everybody where you're located again.
We're located on Route 9 in Natick, Route 9 going westbound at the Stop and Shop Plaza.
Fantastic. Great ideas here. We're going to move over to the sports side now. And Adam, this is a real issue for a lot of parents because kids don't play just one sport, but maybe they play 3 or 4 sports during the course of a year.
Oh, yeah. Especially here in Boston, we have our baseball and hockey and lacrosse, which is the fastest growing sport in America.
Sure.
It's coming here in Boston ever so quickly. We're going to start off with our baseball, which is a very, very popular sport. We have our new and we have our used. Our new bats start at around $30. They can go all the way up to $250.
Sure.
Our gloves can start at $25 new. They can go all the way up to $200-300. And you go over to our used, very gently used.
Broken in, the way I see it.
Yeah, always broken in. This is the best way to do it. We have our gloves. They can go used anywhere from $10 to $35, all the way up to $100 for the higher end. It's great savings.
You bet.
You get so much more for the price. And then used bats can go anywhere from $15 all the way up to about $100 at the higher end prices.
Absolutely.
It's a great way to save. And then going into the hockey.
Hockey, a sport that we don't play at my house, but I know is so expensive because of the equipment.
Oh, yeah. Our hockey is very big here in Massachusetts, one of the most popular sports. We have my 2 miles here, but we have our new skates and our U skates. The U skates can go anywhere from $15 to about $100 at the higher end. And you have your newers can start at $50, go all the way up to about $800.
Sure.
So a big savings.
Absolutely. Now, on our models, they have new and used here. And one of the big issues is the helmet, correct?
Helmet's one of the biggest things, especially at Play It Again Sports. We love to make sure that the helmets fit our kids properly. We're on one-on-one with our customer service, make sure the helmets are fitted properly. Helmets can start at around $50, go all the way up to about $200, and then used you can get them for $15 to $35. Wow. Make sure they're not cracked, make sure they fit the kid properly. Right. We spray them down, make sure there's no lice. A lot of parents are concerned about that these days.
Absolutely, but you make sure all of it is safe.
Yeah, and then you have the rest of the gear. As you can see, these kids are fully fitted out with sticks. And it's a great savings going used.
So I see 50% off on the sticks for the used, so that's fantastic. Okay, and then of course lacrosse. This is one that everybody's playing now.
Lacrosse. This is the fastest growing sport in the United States. We have the new and the used. Helmets especially are also important, including all the other gear. A full suit up for new can run you up to $1,000 at the top of the line, and at the lowest end you can about $300. Used, you can get out of the store at anywhere from $80 to about $200 at the higher end.
Yeah, and these kids are growing every single season. You got to have new every single season because of the change in their size.
Yes,
so
and
it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's great because they can bring in their used gear and trade it in towards other new gear or other used gear. It's great savings. Sure. And every day we bring in used gear.
Great. Yeah. Tell everybody where you're located.
We're at 271 Worcester Road.
Okay.
We're on the westbound side of Route 9. We're about a quarter mile from the Walmart stoplight.
Terrific. In Framingham. You guys, thank you, models. Thank you for coming in and being a part of it today. We appreciate it. Hope you guys all have good seasons. Thank you, Adam.